what I thought was very interesting about this trip was that every day we did so much work that probably we would not have been able to do without, you know, God's grace, because we were able to dig holes in, you know, maybe like 20 minutes to a half hour. That's maybe a little exaggerating, but we were able to do so much work, and we would come back and we would be so tired. But then the next day we would have so much energy just to like go back to work, and I didn't know how I was so awake, so energized, and I really felt that, you know, God was working through us, and it was very evident because we had a newspaper group come up and talk to us, and they did an article on us, and a lot of the people that passed by were also came by, talked to us, see what we were doing. And we also went around evangelizing, and we really felt that, you know, God was there with us, and He was working through us to reach out to the people there in Cabot. And, you know, I really enjoyed the trip.
It was great too. The community got to know we were there, and it got to a point where every time someone drove past the work site, they would wave and honk their horns, and made us feel really welcome. Okay, who's next? They're pointing at each other. Come on up.
This was my first mission trip, so I wasn't very sure how it was gonna go, but I did enjoy it a lot. I had a lot of fun. It felt really good doing work for other people, and it felt really good in all the worship and everything. It was, at first, it was kind of bumpy, like the house did not smell good at all. It was awful. But once that we got through that, we got the mass, we were able to work through it. And every day as we kept on going, we got like more motivation, and we kept on doing like more work. We did better as we kept on going on. And we ended up making a very nice porch. Hopefully he'll maintain it, but it was really good. We got, everybody, I'm pretty sure, got closer to God. There was a lot of worship going on, a lot of fun times. What else? The community, actually, there was a lot of like involvement. They knew we were there. They had a newspaper reporter come. We had an article in the newspaper and a picture, and they quoted Lindsay, and she was all excited about that. When we went evangelizing, there were some people who actually did talk to us and accepted, and then other people, they're just like, oh, okay, thank you. It was a good time overall, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope to do this again next year.
Thank you. Amit, your turn.
This was my second trip with Mr. and Mrs. B, and my fourth mission trip overall. And before I went to a mission trip, we found out that there was only one other group coming, and I was kind of sad and like a little worried, and I was like, we might not have that much fun in this trip. But as soon as we got there, we saw the other group, and we immediately started to make friends, especially Paul, and we played football, basketball, and everything. Also, the work was really fulfilling because in the end we got to see what we did, and we built a new porch, so it felt really good helping the other people who didn't have the needed skills to do it. I really like going to mission trips with Mr. and Mrs. B because they always like encourage us, and even though we're like annoying sometimes, they always deal with it, and they come again and again. This was a really fun time, and I hope I can do it again.
Amit, how many times did I say no horsing around? Okay, Abby?
This was my second mission trip, and I had a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of stuff that I never did before. I got to use like a nail gun and a saw, and I worked on the roof. really scary at first, but it was really fun too. Every day after we came back from the worksite, we had a message, and one of them was about evangelizing. The teacher said that even if someone like shuts the door on you, we shouldn't be discouraged. And when evangelizing, some people were like really nice when they talked to us, and some people just shut the door on us. And we didn't get discouraged, and we kept on trying. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to go next year too.
And she no longer hammers like a girl. She hammers like a guy. Let's see. Bonnie, come on.
Hello, I'm Bonnie. This was my first mission trip, and I was really scared of being away from home, at least like 120 miles away from home. And it gives you a weird feeling when you're away from home. You know, home's warmth, home's food, that other stuff. But when I got there, I was pretty confident with my friends next to me. And then the food tasted good too. It was pretty good. And when I went there, I was expecting to do something like painting the walls, you know. The pre-project was taking away weeds, and I was expecting something like that. But it turns out I had to break down a house, break down a porch, rebuild it, and then use all my strength to do that. And so this is also a memorable moment for me because this is where I accepted Christ, and I felt like I was being too long away from it. And I'd also like to thank Mrs. and Mrs. Badstone. Mr. and Mrs. Badstone, because if they didn't come, it wouldn't have been that much fun. And yeah, and I look forward to the next one, next camp.
I wish I had a picture of the room that we slept in. We slept on air mattresses in this relatively small room, it was just wall-to-wall air mattresses. And these guys, of course the girls were on one floor and the guys were on another floor. And these guys would all go to bed in their respective air mattress. But I noticed when we got up in the morning, they were all in a big pile. I don't know if they're cold or what, but they were all in a big pile. It was very funny. Dupu.
Well, this was my first mission trip. We went to Vermont. It was a very great experience. We got to meet more people, made a lot of new friends, and we got to do a lot of construction work. And a lot of it, at first I thought I couldn't do, but with God's help, we all made the porch. And this was very important for me also because I accepted Christ. I hope we can do this again.
You know, it's pretty exciting when we have a couple of rededications and a couple of new salvations out of a group of 10. Very exciting. Hannah.
This is my fourth missions trip with Mr. and Mrs. B. And Lindsay from which side? And this missions trip was definitely one of the smelliest missions trips I've ever been on. Like every morning we would come in and they had a lot of dogs and cats and bunnies and animals, and it was not very pleasant. And we'd have these masks that we were supposed to wear so that we wouldn't get dust into our lungs. But we used to wear them because it smelled so bad too. And I can say that this was definitely one of the most best mission trips I've ever been on because it made such a difference. Like, I don't know if you can, I don't think we took any before pictures, but the porch was like, it was filled with all this furniture and all this like junk and all these soda cans and everything, and it took like, I think, like an hour or two or something to move everything off of the porch, and it was just such a mess. And then we brought everything off and put it in front of the garage, and then that's when we tore down the porch and then the roof and everything. But it was just amazing to see how much change happened from the beginning to the end, and how we can really make a difference. And really quick, I'd like to say something about our room that we stayed in. It was the size of a closet, and it was Abby at the window, and then Lindsay, and then me, all packed one up against each other. And Lindsay's mattress was like that tall, so we had a little one, and a big one, and a little one. And then Mrs. B was near our feet area. And it was just so small. We'd have to like open the door, and when we'd open the door, we'd like hit somebody because it was so close. But I liked the mission trip, and even with like the smelly jobs and everything, I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to go back next year. And I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Batstone, because without them this wouldn't have been possible.
Thanks, Annie. Did I do everyone except Linda? Okay, well, you can close it out.
Hi. I don't know how many trips I've been on, but this is the first time we've taken these kids, and I'll tell you, we really, really enjoyed them. Everybody had learned something new this year. It was our toughest job, and that dumpster that you see that is in front of the whole house was full, total, to the top. It was a really hard job, but we enjoyed it, and all the kids got to work saws and hammers and to cut shingles and how to shingle. They know how to shingle roofs now. Someday they'll hopefully use it again, and it's just a beginning. And we love to serve the Lord, and that's why we do it. And we loved having your kids with us, and thank you for allowing them to come. And oh, I was going to tell you a little bit about Vermont. Vermont is a state that we found out has more cows than people. Because we went to the Cabot Creamery and we went to Ben & Jerry's, and they need cow milk for everything that they produce up there. I thought that was interesting. And they are a very needy state. They don't have very many church people. I think out of the whole population, they told us they had 1,200 Christians. So anytime we made an impact on the little town of Cabot. We had one fellow who lived there, who used to work in the school system, said that it was amazing to see something like what they saw when we were there for the week. So we made an impact on them, and I hope that we planted some seeds, and that's what we want to do every time we go away. And thank you again for the great week. We had a great week.
Thank you so much, and just finally, thank you for sharing your great kids with us. They're absolutely phenomenal, and it's not every day that you get to lead a group of future software engineers and medical doctors.
Mr. and Ms. Batstone have been doing this ministry among the youth for I don't know how many years. Like they said, I know for 10 years since we've been in the church, a lot of years. But they are very passionate. They served and then saw many youth going from schools to colleges, and God has given that burden for them. You come and drop we go and drop our kids and we forget about them, but they, take care of the kids, make them stay for pre-project and provide the dinner, and then next morning they wake them up, put the baggages in the cars. So much is involved. Mr. Batstone goes, rents the car, van, and also, it's a blessing to have our children associated with Mr. and Ms. Badstone. I thank God for them, and we thank God for the Rice Memorial Baptist Church because you don't know, they pick the names of our children and they pray all week when our children are working. I mean, you can get that support and prayer. Children go and come back safe, and we really thank God for them. Can you give a round of applause to Mr. and Ms. Badstone? Thank you very much. And also I want to mention Babu Rao. He has taken this on, and you saw the emails, the phone calls. He takes time to call every family because, forgive me for saying that, we get emails, no one responds. And then I had several times spoken to him, brother, our people don't respond. And he picks up the phone and he calls every family, make sure it's arranged and all. So, I mean, please help him out. He is the one, is the gift, I mean, of calling people, communicating. But when he gets tired, that says a lot. Please, thank you. I think the judges are almost ready to come. So before they come, we have a few minutes, so children are going to